All right, here we go. My little guy, Ari, my son, is looking up at your problem that we're going to do, and he's like, whoa, Mom. That problem looks awesome. Can I work it through too? Sure. Sure, man. Sure. Thank you for showing the grit. But sorry, your picture's going to distract us because you're so cute. So, here we go. Solving equations. You guys need tons of practice on this. So if you think you know how to do it, go ahead and pause the video. Try it out. Try solving it using algebra, and also try solving it using a picture. Okay? We have to be able to be flexible in mathematics and be able to solve it in multiple ways. So let's try the picture first. You might be like, no, I want to try algebra first. Well, sorry, I'm starting with the picture. So I start with t, that we don't know what it is yet. So I'm just drawing out a rectangle and labeling it t. Then it says subtract from that. So instead of adding on, no, I'm going to subtract a certain amount from it. And how much am I going to subtract? 32.8. I'm going to take out that chunk from t. So that's like that much. And then how much do I have left? Well, this part right here. And it says in the problem that when I take t and I subtract off that amount, I'm left with this. So I'm going to write that here, negative 27. So to get what this whole chunk is worth, I actually take this chunk and add it to that chunk. Because those two chunks together would be this big chunk. It's a lot of chunks. So I would take negative 27 and add 32.8. And that's where you're like, oh, yes, I know what to do. And then you're like, oh, great, now I don't. Because I have positives and negatives and I have a decimal. Oh my gosh, freaking out. So just think on the number line. Negative 27, going to the left. And then addition. Which way do we go? Well, if we keep going left, that means we're getting to smaller numbers. Adding means we need to get to bigger numbers. So I'm going to turn around, go this way. So is that arrow going to be longer or shorter than 27? It's going to be longer because 32 is a little bigger than 27. So if my two arrows overlap, what am I going to do with those numbers? Subtract. So I need to take the bigger number, 32.8, and subtract off the smaller number, 27. My brain, that's like $27. I subtract, I have to take and borrow. And I end up with 5.8. Remembering that I landed above 0, so it is positive. Okay? So that's the picture method. We're able to get the answer of 5.8. That t is going to be 5.8. Now let's try the algebra method. Because this one is going to have to stick with us for our future. So the algebra way of doing this. Let me erase this entire thing. Okay, so I start by writing out my problem yet again. You're like, we just did it. Yeah, I know, but now we have to do it again a different way. I draw my line down. I keep everything balanced. Now, second step, I rewrite exactly what I wrote before. You're like, what? Really? Yeah. Look at that. I wrote the exact same thing, except I left some space. And the reason why is because this next step, we're going to get down to just t. So we have to figure out how can we get rid of this so that we just are left with t. Mathematically, what could we do? So if we are subtracting by 32.8, to get rid of that, I'm going to add its opposite, 32.8. But now, if I do that to one side of the scale, now my scale is off. It's not balanced. My scale is not balanced. So I need to add 32.8 again to this side. Okay? So now I have done, if you notice, I did the same thing to both sides. But simplifying either side is a little different. So if I simplify this left side, these two numbers are opposites of each other. That'll just be 0. So this number t plus 0 is just t. That's why we're left with t. And now on the right, I have to do negative 27 plus 32.8. Which, you know what? We already did that. And what did we get? Okay, you're like, oh shoot, I forgot. And I ripped off my paper and I threw it away. What? We went negative 27. We added 32.8. We subtracted the two numbers. And the reason why I'm actually redoing it is because I erased my work and I forgot what it was. So that's alright. So I landed in the positive realm, and it's a positive 5.8. And now you'd say, are we done? Well, no, we did solve it two ways. But now we need to actually check. I'm going to check and see if this 5.8 actually works. So now I'm going to take that problem, the original problem, and I'm going to sub in 5.8. So instead of t, I'm going to put 5.8 minus 32.8. And we are questioning it, deciding, do we think it's negative 27? Alright, well, in order to do this, I'm going to have to subtract those two to see if I actually get this number. So, on the number line, where am I headed? I'm going positive 5.8 on you. So I go to the right. Subtract means I go left. There's not another negative to turn me around, so I go left. Is it bigger or shorter? It's bigger because 32 is bigger than 5.8. So I'm going to land in the negatives. And that's a good thing because we want it to be negative. The question is it 27? So they are overlapping. So I am going to subtract 32.8 minus 5.8. And I'm hoping for the best. I got 0 here, which is good because this is 27.0. 3, take from that. 12 minus 5. 7. It's looking good. And then 2 minus 0. 2! So I got this to land in the negative realm, and it turned out to be 27 negatives, which is what it said it's supposed to equal. So that is the moment where you should be happy. Okay? All right, I will see you for the test on Friday.